Hello, hello. Just logging on for a little bit of practice. Hope all is well today. Still figuring out some different details for the streaming setup, but just noodling around. So, have another little jazz thing that I can work on today. And actually, I've been using in the past couple of videos, I've been using a tool called Groove Scribe. And today, uh, or actually recently, I've been playing around with this tool called RhythmBot. It's developed by JP Bouvet, I'm pretty sure, and he's a phenomenal drummer. If you haven't checked him out, definitely do so. Awesome player and really, really great teacher with drums, rhythm, etc. So this app's awesome. Just being able to kind of lay down it gives you some random things that you can work on. You can set different ride patterns, hi-hat patterns, etc. And figured I would leverage this for some things that I could play jazz-wise. So let's play around with this first thing, and it should have the sound piping in for you as well. If not, I apologize. But here's one little tidbit that I'm kind of working on right now. All right, and this one's like actually kind of tricky because you're doing this between your hand and your feet while you have a ride pattern going. So. I got to kind of figure out how my foot's going to be doing those double kicks instead of like heel up, heel down. So. And that's really, so a couple things that are tough about this app right away. So one thing that's a little bit tricky is you have this da, 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 on the first part of this exercise, and it almost makes your right hand want to follow along with it. Your right hand's going, I almost did it right there. But your kick almost makes your hand want to go. So instead of this. So you have to really work hard to separate your hand and your foot. So that's actually a good way that you can kind of work on the first part of that is just working on that pattern with your foot while maintaining that. So. The beautiful people. It's kind of got that vibe to it. And then throwing the ghost notes in there. So. And this is really tough because I don't know if I should have my foot in heel up or heel down. I'm also sitting on a desk chair tonight, which actually makes it a little bit tricky to figure out where exactly my weight should go. So that's the first difficult thing about it is but that in and of itself serves to be a really, really good exercise that you can apply. It's just working through that while holding down the ride swing pattern. So, got my AirPods in my pocket and in my way, so get those out of there. So I'm just going to drill into that a little bit. So. Yeah, and I really need to figure out like what I'm going to do foot-wise for that. I almost want to put like all my weight into this. That way this foot can just have a little bit more freedom. So. Or maybe not. Heck, maybe based on this, I'll switch back to the throne for future sessions. But okay, cool. So that first part is basically going to be that pattern continues. Ah. I could very well do heel toe there. Bam. So different ways that I can approach that. And but then the later part's actually really tricky. So yeah, because you have to So this is basically me working through the first part that I was working on was basically this whole situation right here. And then what I'm working on right now is just that right there. So instead of, now it becomes, which is really, really tricky. I think one of the hardest parts about it is actually getting your hand to want to line up with that. It turns into like some other rhythm entirely. So. So I doubt that I'm going to get this one down just because it's tricky because my kick pedal isn't really working for me, but I'm just playing around practicing. And then one other thing that's tricky about this is when you have this space right here, that initial note, then what's implied is two triplet ghost notes that come right after that. So it's going to sound like that. But throwing that in there. Just getting that last one clean is so tough. Okay, so I almost need to flam that out just because I'm not going to flam them together. So I like kind of need to decide where it's going to fall. Tricky stuff, especially doing that kick drum with it. So I'm going to sit on that, but I'm going to play around with some other examples of what they have in here. And it's cool because I can jump into this, do custom complexity, and since I don't want too many of those, I'm going to ditch that and ditch that. It still could probably have it where it does one of these followed by one of these, or this followed by that. But at least might like reduce some likelihood. But alas, it kind of didn't. Ooh, I like that one. No, that's not it. Okay. That's kind of cool. Okay, now just to make sense of that. Okay, keep working that out. So I almost need to think it is. So that's a way that I can make sense of that. Okay, it almost kind of like turns me. Noodle around with that some more. Okay, so slowly but surely. Sometimes it helps a lot to close your eyes while you're working through stuff too. It's a lot of data coming in through your eyes, a lot of input, and if you're trying to focus on something with your body, even just having your eyes open is tricky. It sounds goofy, but I promise it works. And this one's nice because like you at least get that for that one part where it's the at least it lands with this. So two of your limbs are at least like kind of cooperating with one another. So. Okay, we're getting close to that. I still just haven't figured out if I'm doing heel toe or what. And it's nice too because at the very end, they both like line up together. Your hands at least. So. So I'm starting to kind of get that a little bit. Cool. I really like that. Ah. Okay, so that kick I need to just kind of get comfortable. Okay, it's coming together. And I'm kind of landing on like a heel toe that's working really well for that. So I'm just going to lean into that, at least for this exercise. And I might bring back the drum throne. I was just too lazy to bring it over for today. So just using this computer chair. So. Cool at that higher speed if I could just get it really clean. 4 times through at that tempo, then I'll be pretty happy. So. Okay, so I got it like 5 times through. So. Let me even move this kick drum away from me a little bit more. Actually, that helped out a little bit. Maybe a little bit too far, though. It helps just kind of where I'm just like laying my foot flat down on it. So. Suffering from a little bit of tennis elbow also, so arm is feeling pretty wrecked, so I might not have much longer. Cool, I like that. I really like that. That's sick. It's just so tough to consistently get that heel toe. Okay, well, I've gotten it a couple times through, and I think I'm perfectly happy with that. It's more so just to kind of work through some stuff. I think I'm going to bring back that throne. That way I'm sitting at a more optimal angle instead of me sitting in a computer desk chair for this. So, but yeah, just getting a little bit of practice in today, so figured I'd film it as per usual. So if you're checking it out, thanks for checking it out. And yeah, like I've said before, sometimes it's nice just to take one particular little thing like this or the previous exercise I was working on and just drill it until it gets comfortable. Just get really familiar with playing things in those different individual subdivisions. So couldn't encourage that enough. Just find little things that feel uncomfortable for you and just kind of drill into them, and you can come up with creative new ideas as a result, or you could just gain some skills and some facility as a result. So so take that away, give it a shot with whatever drills you're working on at whatever level, and yeah, I'll jump back on at some point soon, tomorrow, maybe the next day, who knows. But if I'm practicing, I'll be streaming it. So thanks, take care.